A very good morning, friends. Myself SS Jugle, and last lecture we deal with the what are the different types of comparators, what is comparator, what are its applications, what is the importance of comparator. Now today we are going to deal with what are the different types of mechanical comparator. Before starting or before understanding the mechanical comparator, first of all we see what are the different types of mechanical comparator. There are four types of mechanical comparator. Number one is dial gauge indicator, second is reed type mechanical comparator, third is sigma comparator, and fourth is Johansson microgator. So starting with the first, dial indicator. So what is dial? Before starting with the dial indicator, we first of all understand or know the various mechanisms that can be used in dial indicator. So in the comparators, magnification is obtained by a mechanical linkages and other mechanical devices. So we can get the range from 250x to 5000x in this particular mechanical comparators. So you can see over here there are different types of systems which can be employed, or mechanisms that can be employed in mechanical comparators for amplification and displacement. So this is number one. This is a rack and pinion mechanism. Measuring spindle is integral here with this particular rack. Measuring spindle, this is the integral part of this particular rack, and it engages with the pinion which amplifies the movement of the plunger. Look at this. This is the plunger. So one by one gearing arrangement is connected with each other as per our requirement of magnification. So this is the first mechanism, what we called as a rack and pinion, which is used in mechanical comparator. Second is cam and gear train. So particular in this system, the measuring spindle, this particular measuring spindle acts on the cam. Look at this. Measuring spindle act on the cam which transmit the motion to the amplifying gear train, and from the gear train we have get the final magnification. So third is a lever with toothed gear. A lever with a toothed sector at its end. Look at this. The toothed sector. This is the lever. Measuring probe is at the end. This particular lever with a toothed sector, this particular at its end engages with the pinion in the hub crown gear sector, which further meshes with the final pinion to produce the indication. This particular what we call as a lever and toothed gear mechanism. Next is compound levers. Look at this. This is the compound lever. So levers forming the couple with compound actions are connected through segment, this particular segment and pinion, to produce a final pointer movement position. So this is what we call as a compound levers. Next is twisted taut strip. The movement, look at this. This is the plunger upward and downward movement. At the end of plunger we have this particular knee which is bent at 90 degree. One of the end is connected with this particular end, what we call as a bell crank lever end. So movement of the measuring spindle, it results in tilts of this particular knee, causing the straining, which further causes the twisted knee taut bond to rotate proportionally. The motion of this particular strip is displaced by the attached pointer as shown in particular figure. And last is a combined lever, or what we call as a lever combined. You can see the upward and downward movement of the plunger results in this particular point is pivoted, and hence whatever the strip which is attached at the roller, which can be further rotated and hence the pointer rotates. So direct movement of the plunger is nothing, linear movement or vertical movement of the plunger results in rotating movement of this particular drum, which gives the reading. So these are the different types of mechanical things, what we called as a mechanisms, can be used in mechanical comparator. So starting with the first, dial indicator. So what is dial indicator? The dial indicator or dial gauge amplifies the length or the displacement, and look at this length and displacement, and which can translate into the rotational motion of the pointer over a circular scale. It is used for pointer over a circular scale. You can see over here the contacting point. This is main dial, this is a small dial, which generally gives, this particular main dial gives the reading, while the small dial gives the actual rotation. This is the lock screw. The inside view of this particular dial indicator is over here. Whatever the job you can place the inside this particular, below this particular contacting point is situated over here. As per the irregulations or as per the variations on the job, this particular plunger moves upward and downward, which results in, at the serrations of this particular plunger or the face of the plunger, there is a rack which is connected to the pinion of the gear, and simultaneously each and every part of the one gear is connected with the second pinion. The gear of the this particular second is connected with the third gear. In this way, each and every gear is connected with each other. What we call as hairspring is used to regain this particular plunger on its original position after removing of the job. So you can see this is the actual setup of dial indicator. Wherever we take the reading, this is the new advanced dial indicator are now in market. We can understand the dial indicator in this simple case, in case of slip gauges. Look at this. This is the base generally used as a surface plate. On this particular surface plate, your dial indicator is placed. Suppose you have to compare this particular workpiece, or you have to find out the actual dimension of the workpiece. Then what we can do? We can simply insert this particular workpiece under this particular dial gauge. After that, we can see the reading. If we want to same dimension as that particular dial indicator, we measure it from the vernier caliper. The least count of vernier caliper is near about 20 micron or exactly 20 micron. So it can variation of vernier caliper and the actual measurement of slip gauge, there is a deviation of 20 micron. To find out the exact dimension, first of all we place this particular workpiece under this particular dial gauge and set it to the 0. For the same dimension from the measurement of vernier caliper, we can combine the slip gauge having the same dimension of this particular workpiece. They ring each other and placed under the dial gauge. Suppose if the dimension of slip gauge and workpiece having the same, then 100% your dial indicator shows the 0 reading. If there is some deviation from the workpiece and slip gauge, then it will give the deviation from the actual measurement by this particular dial gauge. So by adding or subtracting the slip gauges, we can find out the exact measurement of this particular workpiece. So this is the one example of workpiece, or what or how your dial indicator can be used. So it can be used to compare two heights or distance between the narrow limits. It is also used for determining the errors in geometrical forms, what we call as ovality, out of roundness, taper, etc. It is used for testing the alignment, roundness and parallelism of the workpiece. The dial gauge indicators are most common instrument for quality control and inspection work. So in this picture you can see there are different applications of dial gauge. In the first application you can see this particular cutter is rotated. If there is a variation or if there is a run out, then sometimes it will give the positive as well as negative reading on this particular. If this particular cutter is no any run out, then it will exactly shows the 0 reading. Measurement of gear, look at this, measurement of roundness. For measurement of roundness, you can see you can just rotate this particular shaft by placing this particular dial indicator on this particular shaft. So initially by pressing upward near about 20 microns and then set to the 0 to accommodate the negative reading. After rotating a particular shaft, it will check the roundness. If there is some variation, it shows on the dial indicator. Look at this over here. The dial indicator is also used in case of angle measuring instruments. Look at this. This is component which is generally bigger in size than that particular sine bar. So in this case, the sine bar is placed on the job in inward direction or reverse direction. In this particular case, this particular height gauge in combination with this particular dial gauge is used to find out the deviation, that is distance h, that is this particular distance h, or over here this distance h. So reading R1 and R2 is taken using this particular dial test indicator as a free shield indicator in this particular case, and difference of height is calculated to find out the unknown angle theta. So this is the one of the use of this particular dial gauge. You can see over here, this is the stylus. When job is touching to the stylus, it will move like this, and due to this movement, this particular pointer, which is a return spring and lever which actuated and which results in this particular lever scrolls inside this particular mechanism and gives the indication to the pointer. So look at this. In case of measurement of height, this is h, this is h plus x. Difference of height is directly integrated by this particular movement. So initial reading, your dial indicator is over here. After measurement of piece, all piece measurement, there is a deviation from the actual. You can see this particular deviation x. So this particular height must be a h plus this deviation x, h plus x. It is also used in roundness, ovality of the job. It is also used in taper measurement. Look at this. In case of any job, taper measurement, initial reading and final reading, there is a deviation of x, which can be the deviation of the x on the job, which is be represented or indicated in this particular dial indicator. So this is the another mechanical comparator, what we called as a Johnson microgator. This particular comparator is invented by Johnson. So from its name, this particular comparator is named as a Johnson microgator. So you can see this is the contacting point, what we called as a plunger. This particular what we called as a plunger movement from this point to this point. So this is a plunger movement. So look at this. This is a plunger movement from this point to this point. This is a slit washer which controls the plunger, movement. This is the plunger. This is a bell crank lever. This is a glass pointer. This is a bell crank lever, which is at 90 degree, which is connected at the one of the end of the lever over here. And second is what we called as a cantilever strip. To accommodate variations, it is connected with this particular cantilever strip, connected with this particular twisted metal strip. The twisted metal strip accommodate the glass pointer to show the variations. It is having a perforated series of holes to reduce weight and also to increase the accuracy. So this comparator works on the principle that when a tension is applied to a twisted strip, this causes the strip to untwist, resulting in rotation of a pointer which is attached at the center of the twisted strip. Look at this particular principle of tension. It is twist and untwist. So the two halves of the strip from center are twisted in opposite direction, so that any tension on the pull on the strip will cause the center to rotate. At the initial condition it is in a twisted condition. So any untwist results in the movement of this particular, any movement of the bell crank lever that is untwist of this particular twisted metal strip results in the center of this particular glass pointer is rotated. So what will happen? One end of the strip is fixed, this particular is fixed to the adjustable cantilever. Look at this. One end of this particular strip is fixed to the adjustable cantilever, and other end is attached to the bell crank lever. This is a bell crank lever which is pivoted at the frame of the comparator. Look at this. This is the pivot point. It is pivoted at the frame of the comparator, and their other ends is contacting at the top of the plunger. Look at this. Other end is connected at the top of the plunger. One end is connected this particularly pivoted point, and another is connected with the plunger. So any movement, look at this. This is the original position. This is final position. Any movement of the plunger in upward direction due to the contact of the workpiece, the bell crank lever pulls the twisted strip. This will pulls, because any vertical movement of the plunger results in rotation movement of the bell crank, and at the one of the end of the bell crank is connected with the twisted strip, so it pulls the twisted strip. Look at this. The bell crank lever pulls the twisted strip, and hence the pointer, this pointer which is attached at the center of the twisted strip rotates. The rotation of the pointer is proportional to the change in length of the strip and the plunger movement. So in case of what magnification we can observe over here? The magnification of this particular instrument is equal to the ratio of rate of change of pointer rotation d theta to the rate of change in the length of the strip, that is dl. The magnification of this instrument is given by d theta by dl, that is rate of change of pointer rotation to the rate of change of length of the length in the strip. So d theta by dl is proportional to directly proportional to the L divided by W square into N. What is meant by L? L is the length of twisted strip measured along its neutral axis. And what is the W? W is the width of the twisted strip, where N is the number of turns. You can see N is the number of turns. Look at this. N is the number of turns. So from the above equation, the following points you must be noted. Number one, if the length of the strip increases, the magnification of instrument is also increases. The length of the strip can be increased by adjusting the cantilever length. You can increase this particular length of the twisted strip by adjusting the cantilever bell crank lever or its length. Okay. If the width of the strip decreases using thin strip, the magnification is increases. Next is the magnification can be increased by increasing the number of turns of the strip. So look at this. Any unwound of this particular twisted strip results in rotation. This particular thin glass bell crank lever can be rotated in upward and downward direction. Look at this. upward and downward direction. After twist it can be goes down, after untwist it can be rotated and move upward and also downward direction. So any proportional change in height is directly proportional to change in this particular height of this particular glass pointer, on which it will move on this particular graduated scale placed behind it, and we can measure direct error on the job. So these are the two mechanical comparators widely used as a mechanical comparator. One is dial indicator and another is Johnson microgator. If you have any query regarding this particular Johnson microgator and dial indicator, what we call as these both are mechanical comparators, then let me know. Thank you.